The 2024 NFL Draft is now officially over, so let's break down the latest draft haul for the Pittsburgh Steelers from GM Omar Khan. I'm a big fan of this draft class once again for the black and gold, and can't wait to talk about the impact that these players are going to have for this football team heading into the 2024 season. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I'm your host, Jack Sperry. Make sure you join the family here and click that subscribe button, especially because we're going to be having undrafted free agency coverage for you guys tomorrow, breaking down every single undrafted free agent that the Steelers pick up. And I actually think the Steelers might make a signing, just like a regular signing in free agency, whether that be like Stephon Gilmore or a wide receiver of some sort. They still have some needs that they would like to address, according to GM Omar Khan in his post-draft press conference that he did earlier today. So look out for some news here for the Pittsburgh Steelers outside of UDFAs. Click that subscribe button for that coverage. So let's start with Troy Fautanu, the new left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or at least I'm assuming he'll play left tackle. He's more of a pass protector, much more of a clean pass protector than Broderick Jones is right now. Now, Fautanu, really good blocker as well, especially out in space. Broderick's more like the mauling type. That's why I think he's going to be playing right tackle. But Fautanu is 317 pounds, so a little bit undersized. But he's got really long arms, over 34 inches there. He's the number one guard on Tom Downey's big board this year. But he's going to be playing tackle according to Mike Tomlin. Some people think he's a guard. I actually think, based on his film study, that I think he actually fits best as a left tackle because of his ability to pass protect, because of his balance, because of his hand placement, and those long arms. And he's got the leverage advantage because he is a little bit shorter. So last year, the 75.5 overall grade for Mr. Fautanu, and then also an 88.2 pass block grade, and then just a 62.6 run block grade. But I'll say that he looked a lot better in terms of when he was doing the horizontal stuff like outside zone, wide zone, going out on wide receiver screens. When he was going out in space, that's really where Fautanu really shines as a blocker. If you're asking him to just move a guy off a spot vertically in a power run scheme, that's really not his thing. But he played almost 1,000 snaps with the Huskies last year on offense. This was an easy A grade for me, man. This was the number one draft target on my board heading into night one. You guys know how much I was raving about Fautanu going into the draft process. I am in love with his tape. I love his tenacity, and I think he's a perfect fit for what Arthur Smith and Mike Tomlin are looking for in their future left tackle. Then we got the center of the future here in Pittsburgh. And, of course, there's a long history of really great centers here in the city of Pittsburgh. And Zach Frazier out of West Virginia is going to be hoping to be that next great center here at the black and gold. Plays with great tenacity and technique. He is a mauler. He's got a mauler mentality, I'll say. I'm not going to say that he's necessarily got the size to be a true mauler, but he's very strong. 30 bench press reps at the combine, which is very, very impressive, at least in my opinion here. That's an elite a number there according to relative athletic scoring. So I really like that. And then also he plays with excellent technique. He's not the best athlete in the world, but I do think he's going to be a really good player in the National Football League, and he will be your day one starter at center for the Pittsburgh Steelers. His overall grades last year, 77.5 for the overall, 83.8 for the pass block, and 75.3 for the run block. Lots of Steelers fans really like this guy because he's got that gritty mentality. This guy's Pittsburgh Steeler written all over him, and he's going to be your starting center week one for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is an easy A- grade for me. Now, you could have taken Adonai Mitchell, and, I thought that there might have been better players overall on the board, but obviously with what the Pittsburgh Steelers wanted to do and kind of solidify their offensive line, Zach Frazier was a very good pick right there in round 2 at number 51. Then we'll go to Roman Wilson here, wide receiver out of Michigan. Arthur Smith, kind of interesting here, said that he has the versatility to play inside and outside. So look for Roman Wilson to potentially be the Steelers' true number 2 receiving threat. Okay, so of course you got George Pickens, who's your bona fide number 1 guy. You have Van Jefferson and Quez Watkins and Calvin Austin III. But Arthur Smith made it very clear that they see him as an inside-outside versatile guy. Now, Tom Downey definitely thinks he's more of a slot wide receiver. I can see why he thinks that because he is undersized. But obviously Pittsburgh feels like he can survive as a Z in this offense. Really good run blocker as well. His philosophy, at least he said during this process, was no block, no rock, meaning that if you're not blocking, you don't get the football. I love that mentality. He's also had a personal relationship with Mike Tomlin since high school, so I'm sure he is ecstatic to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. His grades last year and his stats: 48 catches for 789 yards, 16.4 yards per reception there. So he's a deep threat, really good on the deep crossers. I'm really looking forward to that Wilson to Wilson connection here in Pittsburgh moving forward. 12 touchdowns in 2023. Had some very clutch catches as well for the Michigan Wolverines on their championship run. For me, this is an easy A- grade. Maybe you could get, like I said, if you would have got Adonai Mitchell in the second, you could have still got a pretty good center or an offensive guard like we see from the Steelers later in this draft here in round 3. So maybe I'm not going to give it an A+, but I am a big fan of Roman Wilson's game, and I think he's a good fit, so we'll give him an A-. Before we break down the rest of the picks on today's edition of Steelers Talk, Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. Guys, if you want to go see some Pittsburgh Pirates baseball this year, PNC Park is absolutely beautiful, and the Pirates are actually playing good baseball right now. So if you want to check them out, you can go to Game Time on their app right now. Get $20 off your first purchase when you use code CHATSPORTS when you download the Game Time app and create an account today. The reason why Game Time is so awesome, guys, is that it's the lowest price guarantee for every ticket to any event. It's absolutely fantastic. Plus, they got flash deals right before your event. So if you're someone like me, likes to procrastinate in getting your tickets, you can absolutely get lower prices the longer that you wait. So it actually rewards you for procrastinating. Game Time is the fastest growing ticketing app in the United States of America and is the only ticketing app on the market that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive at the arena, stadium, or venue, and tickets are sent directly to your phone instead of your email, another great feature on the Game Time app. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Then at the end of round 3 there at pick number 98, they take Payton Wilson, inside linebacker out of NC State, and he was my number 1 graded pass coverage linebacker in the draft this year. Really a high-end athlete, tested extremely well at the combine this year. Now he does have significant injury concerns with both his shoulder and his knee, so is he going to be able to hold up? I'm not too sure, but right away I think he's going to be a really good rotational piece for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You look at his stats last year: 138 tackles, 6 sacks, so he's an excellent blitzer on third downs, which I'm really excited to see Mike Tomlin deploy him as. 9 pass breakups, so really good in pass coverage, and then 3 interceptions just last year. So I really, really like the value with Payton Wilson at the end of round 3. Now, it's definitely possible that Omar Khan took this guy and nobody else took him by pick 98 because he really does have that really troubling past with his injuries, and those things are going to continue in the league, and Payton Wilson just ends up being a straight-up bust. But here at this third-round value, right at the end of round 3, I think it's absolutely worth the upside here. And he might be the highest overall upside linebacker in this class. So I'm going to give this an A. I like this roll of the dice, especially because you got Cole Holcomb that's going to be slated as your number 3 linebacker heading into the year, but you really don't know how he's going to play. So I like the contingency plan at that position with Payton Wilson out of NC State. Then we get to Mason McCormick out of South Dakota State. The Jackrabbit actually had the Steelers taking this guy in round 3 of my day 2 mock draft. But they end up getting him here at pick number 119 in round 4. Now, he's not going to play right away. He's going to be a depth piece along the interior. This guy's going to be what they were hoping maybe Spencer Anderson could have been last year when they took him in the 7th round in 2023. But Mason McCormick can play, and I think he can start, and he can be a pretty decent starter at left guard, right guard, or center in the National Football League. He's going to have to learn the center position, but he's a very intelligent player, plays with good athleticism, pass protection, and play strength. So I think he's really the whole package. The only thing that kind of nicked him, in my opinion, was that he went to South Dakota State. So people are like, it's easy to dominate against those easy guys. But you know what, man? I think he's going to be a really good player, and I think that he might be a potential starter down the line if they want to let Isaac Seumalo or James Daniels hit the open market in the future. Then we got Logan Lee in round 6, and, I like Christian Boyd. I liked a couple of other defensive tackles more than Logan Lee on my personal big board at this point in time. So I'm gonna give it a B because it's solid. I think that if Larry Ogunjobi goes down with an injury, God forbid, Logan Lee can come in and he can play that true base 3-4 defensive end, that 5 technique role pretty easily. And I think that he's not going to provide much for you in terms of true pass rushing, but he's going to fill out his run fit. He's not going to get completely pulled off his spot, right? He's going to be it's going to be a nice stopgap at 5 technique for the Steelers if they need him. And then Ryan Watts III, Coop and I are very intrigued by this pick because you don't know if he's going to play corner. You don't know if he's going to play safety. He was listed as a safety this year coming out of the Texas Longhorns. Very intriguing player. Really tested well at the Combine. He's listed as a safety, so I could see Mike Tomlin using him in like a 3 safety package and trying to see if he's a fit there. He's over 200 pounds, so I do think that's a good fit for him. It's going to be interesting to see what Ryan Watts does, but because it's kind of a shaky projection here, and it's kind of like, just a maybe kind of guy, it's round 6, so I'll give it a B- for somebody with good traits. Why not take a lottery ticket on a guy like that? Now, grade the Steelers draft picks for me down there in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F. Grade this draft class from Omar Khan. I think he did a pretty darn good job myself. And for me, I'm going to give it an A. I'm not going to give it a perfect A+ because you didn't get a starting level corner. All right, so I think that if you're giving this team an A+, that's fine. It's your opinion. But I would have really liked to address the cornerback position at some point with somebody that wasn't a project in round 6. Like Watts is, right? So I would have rather addressed that in round 4 instead of interior offensive lineman, even though I think McCormick's a good player. I think you got good value if you're Omar Khan. If you can get a starting level corner like a Stephon Gilmore in free agency, if you can fill out the rest of your needs on your roster in free agency post NFL draft, I might even kick this up to an A+. Now make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. Tomorrow, UDFAs. We're going to be doing my reaction, and then I'll be doing my grades for those UDFAs as well tomorrow on the channel. So make sure you click that subscribe button. If they make a big move, Stephon Gilmore, Odell Beckham Jr., maybe Tyler Boyd, who knows, Justin Simmons even, I guess we'll have to see on that. Make sure you click that subscribe button right now for the latest breaking news coverage surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers.